Welcome to another episode of Bay Area Boxing Talk. I'm gonna try to knock this out the way as quick as possible because I gotta get some rest because I gotta get up and head over to New York. I'm in Newark, so I gotta get up in a few hours, head over to Newark, get some. Head over to New York, get some work done. So you know, get the footage from the weigh in and then see what happens afterwards. But nevertheless, all right. So, nevertheless, let's talk about some things. So, earlier this week, Tank had his press conference. He had his press conference to announce the fight with Garcia. So, it's official for January the 7th in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Center, something like that. So, highly unlikely that I'll be there, but, I'll see can I get somebody to go down there and cover the fight for me. So we'll see what's up. But anyway, I got to give credit. But the funny thing is, I'm going to start a new narrative because I know what's going to happen. People listen to my channel. They are influenced by my channel, but they don't give me props for it. But that's okay. I like the fact that people get a lot of information and get a lot of material from the smaller channels, the bigger channels, and that's cool. But, would be nice sometimes to give a brother a shout out because I know there's some people out there that be using my material and, that's cool. But, at least give a brother a shout out, man. That's the least you can do. But nevertheless, yeah, one thing about New York, I never thought I'd go to New York 3 times in 1 year, but okay, I guess things happen. I guess I guess it was written. But first of all, I want to say congratulations to Tim, Tim Bradley and Carl Froch. Carl Froch and Tim Bradley were both voted into the Boxing Hall of Fame, and I think both of them are well deserving. Carl Froch got in. I think this is like Carl Froch, like 4th or 5th year eligibility. I thought Carl Froch should have got in a little bit sooner. But like I said, I don't vote. I said that in the video. I thought Carl Froch should have got in a little bit sooner. I thought he did enough in his career to at least get first ballot consideration. But I thought worst case scenario he would get in maybe on the 2nd or the 3rd. But yeah, Carl Froch been eligible for the Boxing Hall of Fame for a while. Hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. Tim Bradley, I think this is Tim Bradley's 3rd year eligibility. You know, I thought Tim Bradley definitely should have got in on the first ballot. I think based off his resume, he had enough good names on his resume to get in on the first ballot. But he got in, so good for him. Everybody remember that fight he had with Ruslan Provodnikov, and that was a fight that people gonna talk about for years to come because that was a hell of a fight. You know, I mean, Timothy Bradley went balls to the wall in that fight. Hell of a fight. But nevertheless, I know people. I'm gonna start this off because I know people going. I know the PBC apologists are, waiting to see what I say, so they can basically, have some material to, post later on. But I like the fact that the PBC has pretty much a primarily black card in DC. They used to call it Chocolate City. I don't know what they call it now, but back in the 70s and 80s, they used to call DC Chocolate City. I do like the fact that you have Tank as the headliner. Then you had Demetrius Andrade making his PBC debut. And then you have up-and-coming fighter, a guy that's making a lot of noise, Jerron Boots Ennis. I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a minute. I definitely I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, don't worry about that. I'll get to that in a minute. So now the Al Heyman apologist gonna be saying, "See, we told you about Al Heyman." Okay, so how many times did I have to make videos calling Al Heyman out about not having pay-per-views featuring black fighters? Haven't I been doing that for the last couple of years? Now, you already know the PBC fanboys and the Al Heyman fanboys is going to start like this going to be they, you know, this is going to be their new thing. This is gonna be the new thing. See, I told you about Al Heyman. Like I said, how long did it take for Al Heyman to finally put together a pay-per-view? Featuring mostly brothers. Yeah, be quiet. Be quiet. I ain't even trying to hear that. I shouldn't have had to make videos talking about this to get this to happen, but now it finally happened. But this is gonna be the new narrative to push. Who gonna be pushing the narrative? Oh yeah, I want to talk about something right quick. Nah, I ain't gonna talk about that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But this gonna be the new narrative that they gonna push. I don't have to say no names, but they gonna start pushing that narrative. It's funny that they did that already, but that just goes to show you that a lot of them are not that smart. But they'll push that narrative pretty soon. Yeah, it shouldn't. Yeah, how long did I have to make videos calling Al Heyman out? I was the only one that had the guts to call Al Heyman out for not having fighters that are black on pay-per-view cards. So it's about damn time. And I'm not finna say old to Al Heyman. I'm not finna, you know, say Hail Mary to Al Heyman and salute Al Heyman and, you know, um, praise the picture of Al Heyman on the wall as some of these dudes got, because like I said, it took people like me to criticize Al Heyman for not doing this. So no, he gets no credit. And that's just real talk, because he should have been doing this in the first place. If he had been consistent with this and been doing this on a regular basis, then hey, I wouldn't have nothing to say. But he seemed to care more about, looking out for the Hispanics and particularly the Mexicans than he did the brothers. But that's the story of America. Black people more worried about everybody else being well off than and taking care of everybody else except each other. That's why we're in last place. That's why we don't have ownership of nothing hardly. But then we spend the most money according to basically statistics, or according to polls, that we spend the most money, which I'm trying to figure out where is it coming from. If we supposedly have the money that we spent, then we should be a very wealthy and well-off community. But like I said, we'd rather give our money to other people and help make them rich. So there you have it. So yeah, I'm not trying to hear this about Al Heyman, but I'll promise you that'll be the narrative that they'll be pushing. So so I wasn't able to attend the Terrence Crawford fight in Omaha. That was my intentions, but I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to attend that fight. I wanted to, but at the end of the day, I tried to send somebody down there. I wasn't able to get nobody to go down there, but something happened. But I don't want to go into that, because I know there's people out there that's basically praying and hoping that this Terrence Crawford thing fails. And like I said before, a lot of these dudes are just a bunch of goofies and hypocrites and cornballs, and they can sit up there and bark on their channel all they want about they gonna do this and they gonna do that. Ain't nobody worried about none of these dudes on here. So I'm just keeping it a buck. Like I said, I'm always at fights. These dudes sit up here making stuff up and making stuff personal, and then they don't even take their asses to fights. Well, like I said, at the end of the day, that just goes to show you there ain't no black unity, that it don't exist. Just like you got look around you. You got a lot of these people sitting up here. They had all this smoke for Kyrie Irving, but then all of a sudden they don't want to discuss the Jerry Jones situation. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Jerry Jones lied about what his intentions was when he went to that pretty much that Jim Crow rally. He lied, and I'm gonna prove that Jerry Jones lied. And I got proof that Jerry Jones lied, which I knew he was lying anyway about why he was there. And I'm finna expose Jerry Jones like he needs to be exposed, because Jerry Jones is a liar. And that explanation he gave about curiosity is straight cap. And I'm gonna prove that it was straight cap. So so that video will be done probably later on today. But as far as people rooting for Terrence Crawford to fail, like I said, they shouldn't be taken serious. And I don't want to hear them talking about black issues or talking about how the black community need to be fixed when you sitting up here uh, I mean, blatantly rooting against another black man who ain't never did nothing to you. And like I said, at the end of the day, look at the hypocrisy. Look at the hypocrisy. Ain't nobody said nothing. Everybody was talking about Terrence Crawford was being ran by a slave owner and Bob Arum and all that kind of stuff. But then ain't none of these dudes really spoke out on Errol Spence being affiliated with Jerry Jones, who basically participated in a terrorist act, who basically participated in domestic terrorism. And the only reason why a few people was talking about it is because I called them out on it. But then they was actually still trying to talk around the situation. And as you can see, Errol Spence been pretty quiet about that. But this is the same dude that was talking about get off the slave ship. Bob Arum is your master and all that stuff. But then at the same time, you got one dude who can't make a move unless he get permission from another dude. He can't make no move. And then, like I said, look at the hypocrisy that's going on. You got you notice the so-called pro-black media, they ain't talking about the Balenciaga situation, where you got one of the Charlo brothers that openly is endorsing a company that has ties to all kind of shady stuff, from basically Satanism to a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, as far as maybe they don't know, okay, well, you got people openly protesting Valenciaga, but at the same time, there you go. That's black people for you. I don't need money that bad. One of the head designers of Valenciaga is tied and have posted pictures of, symbolism, idolizing the devil, not to mention other stuff. And then they might be tied to trafficking and in other unthinkable acts. But that's the pro-black media for you. They ain't nowhere to be found. They ain't nowhere to be found. And then these dudes be sitting up on YouTube and stuff, bumping their gums, trying to call everybody else out. But then they want to protect these dudes. And like I said, if Jamel, if that's what he into, I'm not saying Jamel is into that kind of stuff, but I'm saying, damn, you got to know by now what they into, and you still want to continue to do business with them. And you talked about you feel sorry for the employees. I mean, come on, man. I'm sorry, all money ain't good money. And that's just the bottom line. But like I said, you ain't gonna see nobody talk about that, because they don't have the guts to talk about it, because they too busy pushing the narrative. Like I said, I don't have to expose these dudes because they expose themselves. They know who they is. And I'm going to say this again. I don't give a rat's ass about you guys being mad at me or having an attitude towards me, because at the end of the day, I never needed y'all. I built my channel on my own. I don't need no endorsements. I don't need to make appearances on people's show. And I affiliate myself with whoever I affiliate myself with. And I don't owe nobody no explanation who I affiliate myself with, because like I said, I don't have no boss and I don't answer to nobody. A person that ain't sure he a boss himself can't be a boss to me. How you gonna lead somebody when it's a question about your leadership? So I'm just saying, all you got to do is look at what been said. Like I said before, all of a sudden, since Bill Haney came to Top Rank, it's all good now. Now all of a sudden you ain't got nothing, and by no stretch of the imagination am I caping for Bob Arum. I'm just calling it right down the middle. Like I said, I don't deal with Bob Arum. I deal with the people, but I will say this much. Say what you want to say about Bob Arum. Say what you want to say about Top Rank. I can tell you this much. The people at Top Rank walked up to me. One of the dudes walked up to me and said, hey, man, you be doing a good job. That's why we be letting you in. But, you know, the PBC, and I'm going to keep putting emphasis on this, and I'm not going after the PBC because it's sour grapes or none of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm just keeping it a buck. I should be getting into PBC fights. And then I want you guys to know something. A lot of the people that's keeping me out look like me. So there you have it. And then the people that are supposed to be down with, and I'm just keeping it a buck because I'm just letting it all out. I ain't worried about nobody, man. I ain't worried about nobody making any empty threats online. I ain't worried about none of that stuff. I ain't scared of no man or anything on this planet. But I'm just saying, do you see anybody taking up for me calling the PBC out for not letting me in? I don't be getting into these fights. But like I said, I know for a fact that they be letting people in that got less subscribers than me. But that's cool, though. At the end of the day, journalism is journalism. Report this, report. Just because somebody may criticize or say something about your fighter, that ain't no reason to take it personal and ban them and all that kind of stuff. But then when you out there playing these games, yeah. At the end of the day, like I say, I stand by what I said. Just like Bernie the Boxer basically broke it down. What happened with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Like I said before, you need to ask yourself something and stop listening to these cornballs. It don't, like I said before. Listen to the interview with Bernie the Boxer. I keep telling y'all, it don't take no 7 months to negotiate no fight, man. Did y'all know that Bill Haney, did you know that I got an update? Did y'all know that Devin Haney and Lomachenko is pretty much a done deal? Did y'all know that? That basically they just pretty much looking for a location. But the fight is pretty much a done deal. Now, I'm here in Dubai. So there you have it. But just the other day, everybody got all up in arms when Terrence Crawford said, hey, he wouldn't mind fighting Errol Spence in London. But that's what these dudes do. They just look for something to put videos up. So I'm just saying. And at the end of the day, these people that made Terrence Crawford, pretty much they making him a household name because they can't keep Terrence Crawford's name out their mouth. But let's get back to Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. So basically, like I've been telling you guys, it don't take 6 months to negotiate no fight. Okay. Worst case scenario, maybe if they really serious about making this fight, it shouldn't take this long. So it took maybe, So it took maybe about a month? Took about maybe a month to get Devin Haney, a month and some change to get Devin Haney versus Lomachenko did in negotiations. Like I said before, because they was really trying to make that fight. So like I said before, once again, as you can see, they started negotiating with Lomachenko immediately. Let me explain something to you. When Lomachenko, after he defeated Jermaine Ortiz, they started negotiating the following week. Once again, Al Haymon didn't reach out to Terrence Crawford till around May or something, almost 6 months after the fact. But see, that's what these dumbasses, they like to nitpick and cherry pick what kind of stories they want to put out. They want to take somebody's words and twist it. Oh, Terrence Crawford was talking to Black Prime all along. He's supposed to. That's the definition of being a promotional free agent. You're not tied down to one company. But people to act like they don't understand that. But people act like they don't understand that. And then when you try to explain logic to them, they don't want to hear logic because they've been brainwashed by a lot of these clickbait, lying ass YouTube channels that don't be knowing what the hell they be talking about. So then when they listen to somebody that's trying to present facts to you and actual information, they don't want to hear it because they already been they already been programmed to listen to BS. How you know what's going on and you don't be covering no fights? How do you know what's going on and you don't be talking to the boxers? How do you know what's going on and you don't be talking to the sanctioning bodies? And as you guys see, I talk to everybody. I don't just talk to the fighters. I talk to the managers. I talk to the promoters. I talk to the fighters. I talk to the fathers, all that stuff. I talk to the trainers. I talk to pretty much everybody involved to where I can get the best and most accurate information so I can present it to y'all. And then what cracked me up, you get these dudes that be sitting up here just like winging stuff, just making up stuff. And then they don't be really doing reporting. They just be like, to me, they be doing a lot of like whining and crying. Like I said, I don't have it in for Errol Spence. I want Errol Spence to be successful. I don't have it in for Terrence Crawford. I just want Terrence Crawford to be successful. I don't have it in for the Charlo brothers. But like I said, him being affiliated with Valencia, okay, if he want to be affiliated with Valencia, then that's cool. Do you? But at the same time, the public have a right to know. The public have a right to know what Valencia is tied to. And if you think I'm lying, you can look this up. This information is available. All you got to do is Google it. I can't even show you the pictures that one of the designers with Valenciaga posted on Instagram. I didn't even think you could post them kind of pictures, but she did. So like I said before, I'm just saying, I ain't accusing Jermell Charlo or anything, not accusing him of anything. If he didn't know, he need to know. He need to do, like I said, at the end of the day, you need to do research sometimes on the people that you affiliated with. And it's not just Valenciaga, it's a lot of those high-end companies. And to be honest with you, a lot of those high-end companies don't really want black people wearing their stuff. A lot of those people, they don't even want black people wearing their clothes. They figure that black people devalue their clothes. So I'm just telling you, it's not just Valenciaga. They just one of the many few. A lot of them are upper tier, high end clothing lines participate in rituals and all that kind of stuff. So that mean they might be putting curses and stuff on. I'm just saying, didn't name any company specifically. Allegedly, I will use the word allegedly, so I don't get, you know what I'm saying? I would use the word allegedly. But I'm just saying, Jermell, he just always seemed to find himself in just some awkward situations. But I'm just saying, if Jermell, if you know they doing that and you still want to take their money, you still want to wear their gear, hey, you do you. You do you. But I'm saying, as far as the people that's not into that, they have a right to know. And that's all I'm doing is telling people all this information is available. You can look it up. So, yeah. But I just wanted everybody to know that. Now, let me get to Tank Davis. I like Tank Davis, but at the same time, sometimes Tank Davis be saying some stuff that just make you scratch your head. And Tank Davis has been known to be inconsistent, and Tank Davis sometimes say stuff that have you scratching your head. In no way, shape, or form can Tank Davis do anything with Terrence Crawford. I know people want to stay loyal to who they affiliated with and all that kind of stuff, and that's cool. But anybody that think Tank Davis could do anything, Tank Davis can't do nothing with Terrence Crawford. He can't do nothing with Terrence Crawford, and that's just real talk. It ain't even no guarantee that he gonna get past Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Keep in mind, Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson are much more improved since that infamous sparring session that everybody keep talking about. Look, at the end of the day, sparring sessions make for good videos and all that kind of stuff. I guess you can call, locker room talk or cooler talk or whatever. But at the end of the day, sparring is just sparring. It doesn't mean the dude that gets the best of the dude in the spar would win an actual fight, or the dude who comes up on the short end is gonna lose an actual fight. So I don't put too much stock into sparring. But like I said, I'll do it every once in a while just to make a point, you know, or just to put a video out. But you gotta tell the truth. Sparring is just sparring. Just like I laugh at the fact that people be talking about this alleged sparring session that happened with Floyd Mayweather and Errol Spence. Like that's why I laugh at some of the Errol Spence fans, because the Errol Spence fans, they just give you so much material, a lot of them, because they just come across as just being delusional, and they just see stuff that just ain't there. I can tell you right now, in an actual in an actual fight, if Floyd Mayweather would have fought Errol Spence 7 years ago, Floyd Mayweather would have beat Errol Spence. Floyd would have picked Errol Spence apart because, one, Floyd wouldn't have been there to be hit, and Floyd would have just been picking Errol Spence off. And that's just the funny part. Now, I know some of the Errol Spence apologists, when they see this video later on, they going to be mad because their feelings is going to be hurt because, like I said, a lot of them just don't want to face reality. I'm going to keep saying this once again. If Al Haymon thought that Terrence Crawford was such easy pickings for Errol Spence, he would have been made to fight. And that's just real talk. They stalled that man out for months because they had no intentions on making that fight. It ain't and all this stuff about he got blindsided and then he don't have no other fights, no other options. Well, that's on Al Haymon. That's not on Terrence Crawford. If Terrence Crawford was young, that's why, once again, I'm glad the people that follow my channel listen to logic. But you got some of these people that's gonna sit up there and make up stuff and say Terrence Crawford left Errol Spence. No, Al Haymon left Errol Spence hanging. It's Al Haymon's job, since he controlled Errol Spence's career. Well, if the Terrence Crawford fight fell through, it's Al Haymon's job to find him an opponent. Not Terrence Crawford. They had months to make this fight. Terrence Crawford told them flat out, Bernie, listen to the interview with Bernie. They told Al Haymon they was fighting this year with or without Errol Spence. So how's that blindside? But then at the end of the day, Errol Spence know that he got a big fan base, and he know that a lot of his fan base is delusional. And, some of them are just unintelligent. And I hate to say that word. Some of them are just unintelligent and delusional and flat out liars. Once again, that's not Terrence Crawford's job to find Errol Spence a replacement opponent if they can't make a fight. That's on Al Haymon. Remember, Al Haymon is supposed to be the man. Hey, Al Haymon is always supposed to come through. Well, that's on Al Haymon to find Errol Spence an opponent. This is why, I would tear one of them dudes to shreds but I ain't going on nobody's show. I would tear one of them Errol Spence apologists to shreds. See, that's what a lot of these trick baby YouTube channels ain't gonna put out there, because they don't want to tell the truth. That's not on Terrence Crawford. That's on Al Haymon. Al Haymon is the one that got these ironclad contracts with these fighters where they have to okay everything through him. Once again, let's circle right back before I go back to Errol Spence. Once again, Al Haymon controlled his fighter's career. So that Valenciaga thing, that's another bad look for Al Haymon. That fall on Al Haymon. If he okayed that deal and he okayed the signing of Jermell Charlo without doing research on Charlo, that's a bad look on him. So that's another bad look on Al Haymon. Ooh, I'm hurting these dudes. See how easy it is to ether these dudes? Well, Mr. Stacks, you own to something. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that for a while. But nobody wants to listen to logic. That's something that's out there. So, like I said, once again, when it comes to the Valenciaga thing, people got to look at Al Heyman since you know he controlled his fighters' careers. They can't make no moves unless it go through him. So Al Heyman approved the deal with Valenciaga. So if Jamel Charlo is tied to a company that has people that's linked to you know unthinkable acts, unspeakable acts, then once again, that's another bad look for Al Heyman. That mean he ain't as alert as he wants us to believe, and that slipped through the cracks. So we got to keep it a buck. But see, like I said, that's something that people ain't gonna put out. You already know they ain't gonna put that. The PBC apologists ain't gonna put that out. So I'm just saying. Now, once again, oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Well, there you have it then. The Illuminati. Well, I mean, Illuminati, the Freemasons, all that kind of stuff has a lot of questions surrounding them. You know, Illuminati, Freemasons. So, I mean, if Al Heyman, signed off on this, and that's on. Once again, got to start asking questions, or that's another question mark. But like I said, getting back to Errol Spence, that's all these dudes try to do. That's all Errol Spence been doing is trying to save face. But let's just put this out there. Everybody that's listening to this stream, that's gonna come across this stream. Well, since Errol Spence ain't got nothing going on, according to him, since he ain't got an opponent, why don't he go to Omaha and pull up on Terrence Crawford? And why don't he pull up on Terrence Crawford after the Avanesian fight if Terrence Crawford is successful, and tell Terrence Crawford, let's make the fight. I'm going to focus on making this fight. Now let's see if Errol Spence pull up. Yeah, that's true, Mark. If you get it put in a contract where you have to say somebody's name like he a godlike figure, that is questionable. When it's mandatory that you have to say thank you, Al Heyman. Well, I'm just saying, nobody wants to put this out. Nobody wants to have these conversations about Al Heyman. Look, I don't give a damn about Al Heyman being the same color as me. At the end of the day, if you the same color as me and you doing your own people wrong, that really make me turn that really make me like look at you sideways, look at you side eyes. When you doing this to your own people, when you sat up there and tried to devalue another black man and Terrence Crawford. And the only thing that they mad about is that Terrence Crawford really did a boss move on them. He said, okay, since you don't know how much you want to pay me, okay. Terrence Crawford then got all of his money. David Avanesian got all of his money. The only issue that they having is, trying to make this fight available via pay-per-view overseas. But David Avanesian got his money. So y'all need to start asking these questions. As far as them getting the money, where it came from, that ain't my problem. That ain't my business. That ain't my business. But Terrence Crawford got his money. David Avanesian got his money. Their money's in the bank. The check's cleared. So now what? Now what? Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to have those kind of conversations. Nobody wants to have them conversations. Bud got his money. He got it. Whatever happens with this fight, Bud got his money. David Avenesian got his money. It took less than 3 days to finalize this fight. Once again, it proves my point. While you got people making videos, trying to play games and trying to say, oh, how this fight get put together so quick. No, it got put together so quick because it wasn't no politics involved. It wasn't no BS involved. By this fight getting put together in less than I think David Avenesian said we got this fight put together in less than 48 hours. That just goes to show you, it just proves my point. It don't take no 7-8 months. See, that's the thing. None of these cornballs can answer that question. Why was you in negotiation why did you start negotiations way in May or June for a so-called November fight? You could have started negotiations immediately. Terrence Crawford was a free agent midnight, November the 20th, 2021. He was a unrestricted free agent. And then you get these dudes crying and whining about like Terrence Crawford did Errol Spence dirty. When you a promotional free agent, you are supposed to weigh all your options. You were supposed to look at all options. You're not just supposed to put all your eggs in a basket and wait around and see what Al Heyman and Errol Spence and the PBC is going to do. And once again, people don't want to talk about how the PBC said that they was going to do this. Tim Smith said out of his own mouth, who worked for the PBC, that they didn't know if they had the type of money, or should I say they didn't want to have that money. They didn't want to spend the money on Terrence Crawford. But yet they still begging. I bet you if Canelo re-signed with the PBC, they going to find a way to get Canelo some money. Like I said before, you gave Caleb Plant $10 million. No disrespect. Caleb Plant is a cool dude, but come on, man. Terrence Crawford was a former undisputed world champion. And then you get these dudes that'll sit up there and say, well, he didn't try to unify at the lower. Look, it don't matter what he did at the lower division. It's what he did at the division he was currently in before he moved up. Doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. Once again, that's just circumventing. That's circumstantial, fake, like talking points. He was undisputed at 140. Then he moved up to 147, and he has stopped everybody that he has fought at 147. And then once again, I had to debunk that fake video that came out about they supposed to have offered Terrence Crawford a 3-fight deal that included Jermell Charlo, Errol Spence, and Danny Garcia. Okay, if that's true, how come Charlo ain't came out and said, hey, you was included in the package, you could have fought me if you would have fought Errol Spence? How come Charlo haven't said that? Because it was cap. And then who is this so-called executive? You see how easy it is to like tear into these dudes? But then you knew that you knew a lot of these cornballs was going to make videos saying that the PBC supposed to offer Terrence Crawford a 3-fight deal. And even if they did offer Terrence Crawford a 3-fight deal, he doesn't have to take it. And that's the funny part. Once it came out that Errol Spence was included in a package deal to keep Canelo at the PBC, that showed me that they wasn't really that making the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight wasn't an option. The reason why they stalled the fight and kept stalling and not talking about that they don't know how much they going to give Terrence Crawford. See, the thing was when Terrence Crawford agreed to I think Terrence Crawford originally agreed to take less money. Then Al Heyman came with we can't guarantee you no guarantee money, but we'll pay you off the back end, the net pay before taxes. But then at the same time, so you basically but we don't want to open up the books. So they can pay Terrence Crawford literally $10 if they wanted to and say, well, that's how much was left, or that's how much going to be left. That's your cut. And can you imagine if Terrence Crawford wins that fight and he walks away with 10 and, so like I said before, y'all gotta use common sense. If they thought Terrence Crawford was such easy pickings for Errol Spence, wouldn't they have been made that fight? Even when you had a dude that was willing to take less money, y'all gotta like really think about this. But that's the problem. People don't think, they act off emotion. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's well, first of all, like I said, anybody that believed that Errol Spence can beat Andre Ward is and I hate to use this terminology, especially towards my people. Anybody that think Errol Spence could beat Andre Ward is an imbecile. Okay, and I'm trying to use and I'm trying to use terminology. You're an imbecile. Errol Spence can't do nothing with Andre Ward. When I say Andre Ward would wash Errol Spence, I'm talking about Andre Ward would beat the holy hell out of Errol Spence. And that's for any of you delusional Errol Spence fans. If y'all think Errol Spence can beat Andre Ward, then y'all need to go to rehab or you need to quit drinking. No way, shape, or form can Errol Spence do anything with Andre Ward. Andre Ward probably could come out of retirement now and whoop Errol Spence ass. Matter of fact, I know he could without a tune-up. Errol Spence is good, but he ain't that damn good. Like I said before, you have to use logic. For real. They kept if Terrell if Errol, like I said, if they really believed Errol Spence could beat Terrence Crawford with ease, they would have been made the fight. They would have threw Terrence Crawford in there. But see, at the end of the day, why are you throwing all these obstacles? Because they stalled. They was trying to stall that fight because they was trying to see what was going on with Canelo. Once again, Canelo got offered a package to stay with PBC that included Errol Spence. So how are you trying to make Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, but you begging Canelo to stay with the PBC, and you'll set up a fight with Errol Spence and Canelo at Cowboy Stadium, at Jerry's World, with Jim Crow Jerry. From now on, that's what we gonna call Jerry Jones. That's his new name, Jim Crow Jerry. You see, the thing is with me, that's his new name, Jim Crow Jerry. I'm gonna start calling him Jim Crow Jerry. I mean, and we have the pictures, we have the proof. But like I said, you ain't seen you ain't seen the Soul Brother Black media calling out Errol Spence and his affiliate. Errol Spence ain't said nothing about Jerry Jones. So I'm just saying. But people was acting like he's Soul Brother number one. Yeah. Yep. Jim Crow Jerry. and Brent scam artist Farb. So I'm just saying. People need to stop it, man. Errol Spence can't do nothing with Andre Ward. But I'm just trying to present y'all with common sense and logic. But you'll get these dudes, like I said, what you calling Terrence Crawford out his name for? I ain't never called Errol Spence out his name. I called him what he called himself, the truth, the big fish, whatever the hell that means. I mean, he the one called himself the big fish. I don't know. But I ain't never called Errol Spence out his name. But these other dudes, like I said, you got dudes talking about they want to do weird things with Terrence Crawford. Like, man, some of these dudes on here, you just be like, man, come on, man. You need to keep that stuff to yourself, man, for real. And a lot of these dudes be making a fool out of themselves when they be saying stuff like that. A lot of these dudes hate Terrence Crawford more than they Man, a lot of these dudes on here that supposed to be so-called activists and all that stuff are pro for the people. Hell, they love Dylan Roof more than they love Terrence Crawford. That's real talk. Oh, Aaron, he called he called him he called him Aaron. I know, that's what I'm saying. Hey, that's what I'm saying. But then the so-called people that's supposed to be affiliated with Deontay Wilder, they didn't say nothing. Like, you know who these dudes is. Don't get mad at me. That's what I don't understand. And it's hecka funny. You got people that be sitting up there and Deontay. That's funny. That's funny. People want to protect dudes that don't even mess with them. But I'm just keeping it a buck. People want to protect dudes that don't even mess with them. You know, I'm just saying. You done seen Jamel Charlo threaten people and all that kind of stuff, threaten people that I'm cool with. You didn't see people say nothing. This dude talked about threatening Deontay Wilder and all that kind of stuff. Once again, he threatening a black man. He threatening a black man, but then he always sitting up there. Man, I could really just go in the dude. He's seen the love threatening black people. But then he loved to see him to threaten black people though. Show don't have smoke for other people though. So I mean, there you have it. But anyway, I gotta shut it down. Appreciate y'all watching the channel. Appreciate all that stuff. I do this for y'all though. Real talk. Thank you. I'm out.